You know those steps lead, right?
Yeah, back to my car. I left my script.
You already know your lines.
How do you know that?
Welcome back to another episode of Over the Shoulder. Yes, as always, like, subscribe, share, comment. Who do you want to see sitting in this seat? You know, is there somebody I worked with that you're interested in hearing the process of working with MountainTop Studios, with Enoch, and that you want to be there? Or do you want to be sitting in the seat? Do you want to work with a project with me? You know, you can comment, slide into my DMs, say, hey, I'm interested in, working on some of your projects. You know, I wanna be in the moment with you. So just let me know. And without further ado, we're gonna introduce a great dynamic woman that it was such a pleasure to be able to work with her. Like, she showed up, she showed out, she understood the assignment to its full extent. So without further ado, Juelissa Piggy Wells.
Hey, y'all. Hey. How you doing?
Oh man, you know me. I lived the dream.
You look good.
It. Oh, you look good. First of all, okay, she's a makeup artist, so you see the makeup's beat. Y'all see it. If you need a makeup artist, this is who I recommend. Cause I've seen her do makeup in real time, and it was magic. It was magic. A person looked like this, and they went in looking like that. I was just
one of my biggest hype men.
Listen, I don't even need to be a hype man. Just go to her page. You'll see it. All right. So in the room, you played the character of Faith.
Faith, yeah.
So when I sent you over the script, what were your thoughts?
Faith was very personable for me because I feel like that's my natural character. Like, that's the character I am. Like, people see this diva, they see this really pretty girl, well dressed, but they don't know on the inside I'm very gentle, delicate. I am very nurturing, very empathetic, you know what I'm saying? And, most times people don't have faith in themselves, So that was my moment to, push through for them and help them understand, it's okay. You got this. Stop doubting yourself.
That's interesting because okay, so spoiler, so you were not necessarily my first choice for the role. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. It's okay.
But he ended up picking me up.
I did. It was, so we were working on another project together. Mm-hmm. My person with Slim Pandora. Yep. Shout out to Slim Pandora because that's my homie.
Period.
And so we're working on my person, and we get to the season finale and stuff like that, and obviously spoilers, shockers, people are like high emotion and stuff like that. And what I noticed is you were completely calm. You were completely calm. You were just in, and then you started pouring into other people.
Right.
Like, other people had their problems, their issues, and you went and said, "Hey, girl, this and that." Like, I'm having conversations.
Right.
I'm having this, and I was like, that's seeming real Faith-like. And for me, at that moment, what you didn't know is that the person who I wanted to be Faith, she ended up I had already sent her the script, the role, replanning. I got shoot dates. Everything. We didn't talk outfits, wardrobe. She had to get surgery. So she's like, I'm out for 4 weeks. And I already know I want
to gotta heal.
Yeah, I want to premiere this in 4 weeks. So I'm like, ooh, okay, so I need a whole new Faith in a week and stuff like that. And I'm just, I'm a person who I don't really stress out too much. I really, universe provide this and that.
Every time.
And so then I just see you not just pouring into one person, but 2, 3, 4, and being really the calm in the storm for these people. And I was like, so Juelissa, what you think about what you think about acting? Is that something you want? This and that. And then Loki, you also on set, you had this hat. And first of all, with
you love my hat.
I did. I love the hat because I knew the scene that I wanted to shoot for Faith.
Right.
I knew I wanted that bench. I knew I wanted that tight with the hat. I knew I saw it in my head.
Right.
And I was like, she's gonna murder this. Then your skin complexion, I'm like, we do it in the daytime. That sun gonna be shining. It's gonna be real gold melanin. And Faith is she's that woman. She is in my opinion, she's supposed to be the epitome of what I don't want to say what a woman is, but the epitome of the sis who uplifts you. And I just saw all of that. I was like, let me take a chance. Let me see if she asks. Let me see if she'd be interested. Let me see what she can do with the role. And
it was natural. It was so easy because that's naturally who I am. I don't mind stepping in, how you said, how I was on, my person. A lot of people couldn't open up because people have trauma, whether it's detrimental, whether it's not that bad, but I feel like people needed to open up more on that show. That's why it was hard for people to figure out who that person was. But for some reason, I have this thing where I can just see certain behaviors and just be like, okay, okay, okay. But I went to school for psychology too. So yeah.
Okay.
So it's like I can really just look at a person and just be like, okay, I can see what this is. I can see what that is. Okay, maybe I can help them. So when you gave me the role of Faith, it just like I say, it was very personable for me. Like it was like okay, this person is literally who I am. So in the moment of me playing the role, I don't feel like I was playing a role. I feel like I was just being myself and I was being recorded. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed Tamara. Shout out to you, girl. Like it was so easy because like she was in character so well. It was like, okay, am I really talking to Tamara? Or you know what I'm saying? So it was easy. It was very easy. I'm glad you picked me. Like I'm glad you saw that in me to pick me, you know?
Yeah. Well, I try to be really intentional as a director
Right.
with my casting because I live by a personal philosophy of like when you
Right.
get a character, don't try to be the character. Find the
Right.
character that's in you. Because it's like
Right.
if this character is this great person, it's like you have a great person inside of you as well.
Right.
This character is like a terrible
Shitty
person.
person.
Yeah, you got a terrible person inside you. So
Shoe fit.
yeah, so find that inside of you instead of trying
Right.
to like create this whole new thing. It's like,
Mhm.
nah, we got many different layers and
Right.
sides.
Right.
So
Right.
it was like, with Tamara's casting choice, like I knew, like I really know me and Tamara are like really great friends. So
Right.
I know all of her different sides. I was like, okay, I know
Right.
that this is you got all of this inside of you.
Right.
And
It
then it
was
was like,
for her too, yeah.
and I saw within you and how you just dealing with everyone else. I was
Yeah.
like, she got this inside of her. Like, I was like, this is a great introduction into acting,
Right.
for you. So I was
I'm
like,
always rooting for the underdog. I've always been that way. I've always been that person to root for the underdog. Cause me as a person, like in this day and age, like people wouldn't believe I was a person of like bullying. Like people used to bully me. So it's like, shoot, if I can stick up for me, I can stick up for everybody else too. You know,
let me know their names because they about to
they know
see.
who it is. Y'all know the fuck y'all is. But no, for real, I'm really big on like uplifting others, helping others. Some people don't have that extra person to have their back or shoulder to cry on or ear to listen. I'm just always naturally, even if it can be somebody random, homeless person talking on the street, I'm gonna listen. You know what I'm saying? So that's just always been how I am.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. I saw it firsthand. Okay, so when you were, all right, so that's the writing. When you get on
Mhm.
set and you're working with me as like the director and the crew, like
Mhm.
what was that experience like?
I was nervous because, for one, my person was my first reality show.
Mm,
This was my actual first scripted film. So I've never had a script before. So it was like, okay, I know I'm a heavy drinker.
mm,
Am I gonna remember these lines like I'm supposed to?
mm,
But it was like, it wasn't about remembering the lines. Like I knew the lines because I knew who my character was because I am my character. So once I kind of put that in and instilled that into myself, I was like, okay, I'm good. Like I can do this, no problem. You
mhm.
know, it's just where the lines fall into place while the other person is in character as well. And other than that, it was like once I figured that out, I was good. But I was nervous at first.
Oh yeah,
I can't say that.
yeah, I mean
It's my very first.
it's very first. So
Yeah.
that's why
So
even like the meetings we were having, I was
right,
saying that like it's okay. Like I cut. There'll be different
right,
angles. Like we
right,
do it multiple takes. Like
right,
there's like you get a chance to warm up and get there
right,
and stuff like that. And I'm very strategic about how I shoot because I know like
right,
I shoot the most important lines
mhm,
like last. Like
right,
I do wides because I mean the wide I know I'm gonna use it like at the beginning and that's probably it.
mhm,
But it's like the ones close up that hat scene I was saying I was like, all right,
right,
I need you to be warmed up and really be faith in that moment
right,
because that I know I'm gonna use that like that's probably gonna be the angle I use most.
right.
And you were so it was
Okay.
like you did and honestly I was telling Tamara this on her
Mhm.
episode. Like the line that I wrote that was the most memorable was actually the Stanley line when he was like, sometimes the biggest win is just about getting in the room. So that
Right,
was the line in the script for me. I was like, this is the one.
right.
But the one when we were at the premiere that the
Mhm,
people loved was
mhm,
actually your line
mhm.
about this station. about like, some people don't even have the
That's hard.
courage to
You
make
make it
it
to
to
the
station.
station.
Like that's everyone
Mm-hmm.
kept talking about that line. So I was like,
Right.
wow. I mean, it was really good.
Because it's real. In the room is very personable for a lot of people. Like it wasn't just about for us being the people who are part of this group. Like people who actually watch that film, it's just like people have a lot of self-doubt. Like, I don't feel like I'm capable of this. I don't feel like I'm capable of that. If everybody watches that short film, it'll give them more confidence because they know people got their back. Even when they feel like they don't have not one single person, it's somebody that has their back. And that film will give them reassurance. Like, it gave me reassurance in the moment. It did. Because I was nervous. I was nervous. But in the moment, it was like, okay, I'm in the room. You know, this is my first short film. This is my first scripted film. I'm in the room now. So it kind of pertained to me as well. And I'm pretty sure everybody else that was shooting, they probably felt the same exact way. Like, this pertains to us too. Like, we're in the room at this very moment, regardless of if this is the star, that's the star. We're all stars in this.
Yeah.
We're all in the room at this moment. And we all deserve to be in the room.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's why I wrote it, because I know it's about imposter syndrome. And like,
right.
I didn't necessarily go to school for film, or not
Right.
necessarily. I
That's
didn't go to
surprising.
school for. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm an engineer. So
Right.
I didn't go to school for this. I'm completely math and science,
Right.
completely other side of my brain.
Right.
And like I've stepped into this creative field,
That's
and people are
crazy.
asking me like, how did I get here? How did I do
Right.
this and that? And it's like I'm stepping in these rooms with these people, and they're looking at me like about cameras, about sound,
Right.
about all this stuff, and it's like I can feel like an imposter a lot.
Right.
And I was just like,
You
hey,
was in the room when
I'm
you
in
was
the room.
filming.
I'm in the room. So I'm looking at it like I'm looking at hope, like hope is a lot of me.
Yep.
And then faith is a lot of me too, because I have to
It's a
build
lot of
myself
us,
up.
yeah.
Eve is a lot of me too, because
Yeah.
like that doubt comes in. I'd be like,
Right.
can you actually do this? Because I've said yes to some projects that I've never done before, and it's like,
But how would you know if you don't try?
exactly, you got to figure it out at some point. So
Affirmations, put yourself in those moments.
all the affirmations
Yep.
everything. So so when you were looking at Faith's character, and you're reading the lines, was there like a line or like a moment or a scene where you were like, I can't wait to do this?
It was what was the line? It was the very last line. And it's at the tip of my tongue. I can't even remember it right now off the back. Let me see.
Let's see, what was the very last line?
You trying to think too?
Yeah. I write so much.
It was right before me and Eve's conversation.
Okay.
It was like when I handed her the flower.
Flowers. Butterfly. The butterfly one?
Butterfly one.
Yes. So that was like a butterfly.
A butterfly doesn't know
until
it's
until it breaks free
until
from
it
breaks free
from
its
its cocoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't remember exactly how it was. But that was my favorite line, because nobody knows until they pull that guard down and just shoot for the stars. Like, you never know what you're capable of until you break free from that cocoon. Like, you have to be that caterpillar. You have to crawl slow. You have to build that cocoon in the harshest storm. You know what I'm saying? But you're always going to come out on top.
Yeah, because I mean, you have to think. I mean, like we all love caterpillars to butterfly journeys.
Yeah.
You have to think about a butterfly. Like, if butterflies have feelings,
Yeah.
how does it feel when it first breaks free? It's a whole new thing. It's never had it can fly now.
Right.
It couldn't fly before.
It was walking slow as hell.
Yeah,
it was crawling.
It was crawling, and it comes out now flying. Like, it's a whole new adventure.
It went from the ground to the air.
It's a new creature, really, at this point. And so that was like a big thing for me. It was actually funny because perfectly the wind blew Tamara's hair when you were saying that. So if people actually look, I mean, this is only something that I would notice because, but it's like her hair, she had like, she has big hair, and it like literally lifts up like wings. It did lift up
when she turned around.
Right.
It did.
It lifts as you're saying it, and I was like, this is like a perfect moment.
Right.
But yeah, that was that was
my favorite line.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
So,
because I felt like the butterfly in that moment.
You are the butterfly. You are the butterfly. When you got there, you were comfortable. Like, it was clearly that you were like, I'm Faith.
Right.
And, by the time, it was funny because when you and Tatiana, Eve scene,
right,
like that scene flowed so quick, so fast.
I seen Tatiana. She came to my bar like after, probably like 2 weeks ago. She came to my bar. I work at Third Spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came to my bar. She was like, hey, girl. Like, we haven't seen each other since the, shooting. So, because I'm trying to get some yoga class from her. We got to
Listen,
Stretch it out.
Stretch it out. The
I
balance.
be tired.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's my yoga
I
instructor.
need
Like
it.
she's amazing. She
I need
balances
it.
out my
Yeah.
entire life.
I
That
need
type,
it so
such a
bad.
soothing soul.
She is. Like, she's so gentle. And when she came to the bar, it was just like so light and just so feminine and beautiful. I just love Tati. She's so sweet. She's a
Yes,
sweetheart.
It was a great cast.
It
This was one
was.
of
It
my
was.
this was one of my more favorite pairings of just people.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone like really
Matched well.
matched.
Matched well.
Yeah, it was just like everyone was like, like I wish we'd been able to be at the premiere because then like people
I
really
know. I was so
people
mad.
loved. I mean, they really loved your portrayal of the character. Like
Yeah.
again, it's just that was, and again for me it was like because you don't come into the very end of the film,
Right.
so and people were like very much so like this line what you were saying because you were talking that stuff,
Right.
like you were like sis I need you to if you don't go walk in this
Right.
room
Because you got this.
yeah you got this but how
Ball
many
in your
times
court. Yeah.
how many times do we just
Need that reassurance though. We
so
need it.
so
Everybody needs it.
everyone needs it. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this. So personally, when you have a moment where it's like, in that moment, you don't got it. You don't believe you got it. How do you get yourself out of that?
How do I get myself out of it? Well, first I have to take a step back because I have a Leo moon. So it can cause me to be dramatic and bratty.
Yeah. Aquarius with Leo or you Capricorn?
Capricorn.
Capricorn. Oh,
Capricorn
Lord.
sun, Taurus rising, Leo moon.
Oh, we both got the same rising. But,
Yeah.
see.
Leo moon. So sometimes I have to take a step back because I can get very bratty. I can get very dramatic. So it's just like I have to do that step back and come back to reality. I'm like, okay, it's not that deep. You just gotta relax. You gotta calm down. Like you can't let this one little thing deter your whole day, your whole mood. Like I just have to take that step back. My moon be kicking in at full effect when something don't go my way. And I have to like, hey, bitch, calm down. Too fiery. You on fire right now. Calm down, relax. So I come back into my Capricorn placement and I listen.
Grounded.
I gotta get grounded. Because like I said, I'm a Taurus rising too. So luckily I do have both of those placements to like put me back into reality. So I think that's why I'm relatable to a lot of people. Because I do have that, earth and fire. You know what I'm saying? I have that groundedness and I have that bitch, don't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I feel like that makes me really relatable to a lot of people because we all have that spunk. And it's like, not gonna say it's like, well, I can say that I'm just well-rounded. And I think that's why it's so easy for me to read into people because humans are so easy to crack into. We really are. Like
we're simple creatures.
All you have to do is be respectful, be kind, not nice, but be kind, and you have to be understanding. You have to see it from everybody's point of view, not just your own. Yep. We can be so stuck in our egos at times that we don't realize that sometimes what we're thinking is not best for us. So let me put this in another perspective. Okay, now this makes more sense. And I always try to rationalize before I speak to people now. Like when I was younger, I didn't care. But I can see how when I'm having a bad day and if I go to work and I start bartending and I deflect that bad day on one of my customers, they're going to give me that back.
Yeah.
But even if I'm not deflecting and I have a bad day and I have a bad customer, I know how to flip that around and then make that customer feel more, comfortable, make them feel more reassured, and they end up relaxing just like I did. So you just have to take a step back. You have to take a step back and reflect. Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is going to be, how was your first acting experience?
Ooh, I loved it.
You loved it?
I didn't even, when I tell you, when I talked to God about this, I was like, are you serious right now? Like acting? You just gonna throw acting at me? You just gonna throw all these cameras at me? I've always been fine with taking pictures. I've always been fine with doing little videos on Instagram and stuff like that. But something about me, I have never liked being in front of a camera. I was in like kindergarten and we had this play and we did the alphabet. And everybody had these cute little, costumes or uniform, whatever little get up they had. But I was the U. They gave me like this box with foil all around it. And my line was just U is for under the tree. But it was like, y'all got me this stupid ass box on. And I got to go around all of these kids, these older kids. So we walking up to the gymnasium, we lining up. And all the kids just laughing like, oh, look at her. She on this stupid box. Da-da-da-da. So we get on the stage. I'm watching everybody. Like all the fifth graders are like on the front row. And I'm just watching everybody. They're just laughing. Like, she on this box. She on this ugly box. And they get to me and I step up and it just get real quiet. It was like, all I had to say was, you is for under the tree and step back in line. I jumped off of the stage and ran and sat in my mom's lap. And I feel like ever since then, I feel like that was a trauma that I couldn't get over. Because when I was in college, I did public speaking. My speeches were fine. My professor loved my speeches, but I couldn't get up and say them. So I couldn't pass. Yeah. So it was like, it was so hard for me to get up and just speak in front of people. So it's like being in front of a camera that's recording you and thousands of people are going to see you. Not just the person who's filming it, not just the people who are in the film with you, but thousands of other people, millions possibly, are going to see you. Like, that shit is important to me. So I don't know, it kind of made me nervous, kind of made me like, do I want to do this? But it was like, with the show, I was like, I might as well. Like, fuck it. I literally said, fuck it. Got up, packed my shit, do the show. After that, you asked me to do the short film. I was like, okay, is this what my new calling is? And I noticed, like, once I stepped out of that fear, everything else has started flowing. Like, one of my biggest fears, I finally like conquered it. Like, now being on this, podcast with you, it really like it makes me feel good.
Yeah, like I wouldn't know. Like this is
Yeah.
just cameras are rolling right here.
I
And
know,
you're just able to speak. You didn't talk about childhood trauma,
Yeah,
bullying.
right.
I didn't heard about your kindergarten story.
Right.
Like this has been very personal.
Yeah, and I'm just naturally a personable person. Like, people, like I said, people look at me all the time and be like, oh, she's one of them girls. Baby, I'm the sweetest person you would ever meet. I'm the most gentle person you'll ever meet. You probably can't even call your best friend and ask them for what you can ask me for, and y'all don't even know you. So
I mean, you've only been sweet and gentle with me. Like everyone who I brought you around, they're like, "Oh my God, we love her." I'm like,
yeah, I'm just naturally a gentle person. You don't have to be mean to people. You don't know what people are going through in their own personal daily lives. So you have to be respectful and be mindful of what the energy that you exert. And that's just has been my number one priority lately. Like, don't be exerting that negative ass energy. Like, you don't know what people are dealing with today.
Very true.
You gotta relax, gotta tone it down. No matter what you're going through or how you feel, you gotta watch what you say. And baby always tell me that too. She's always on my back about like, all right, babe, that probably wasn't something that you can say to everybody else, but be mindful. So I've really been working on that too. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's very important. Very, very important.
So this has sparked you into wanting to do more acting. So what role could you see yourself doing next?
I don't know. Anything that has to do with I honestly don't know. I don't know. It won't be anything like, being like a murderer, like a serial killer, no shit like that. But maybe like how Denzel was in, like, what was that?
Equalizer, maybe?
Equalizer.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. Like, I'm that type of person. When I see something terrible happening to somebody, it's like I get this vengeful feeling, like I want to get vengeance for that person. Like, because people don't know what it's like to genuinely hurt somebody else until it happens to them.
Yeah. My favorite
They
line
don't
in that
know
movie
that.
is, let me see, he's asking for forgiveness, not permission.
Right.
He's already done it. These people
Exactly.
are already dead.
Exactly.
He's just letting you know that they're about to die right now.
Exactly. Like, he already done made his peace with God every day, every time.
Every time.
Every time. So it'll always be something like that. Like, I don't think I would ever be like a evil person in a movie, or I can see me being like a bitch in a movie or something like that. But definitely something like Denzel.
Gotcha.
He was an equalizer for sure.
Feel that. Well, you did amazing as Faith in the Room.
Thank you.
I can't thank you enough for showing up, showing out, having good energy, just all the things. I really do appreciate you for,
Thank you for having me.
Yes. It's our first project, won't be our last.
Right.
Yes.
I'm actually thankful that you even opened me up to this. Like, I can actually say, like, E put me onto this. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have never done this if E would have never, opened me up or exposed me to my acting side. I didn't even know I had a side of acting. Didn't know it. But I'm grateful to, you know, be in your short film. Like I was a nervous wreck. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to wear. Oh my God, do I have to look like this? Okay, I don't want to be dramatic. So it was like when I was going over my lines, it was like, does that sound too dramatic? Or okay, say it how you would tell somebody else. And when I went with that, I was like, okay, boom, I got it. Like I didn't want to be too over the top. Like I didn't want to put that in the film because everything in the film was just so empathetic. It was so soft. It was just so relatable. It was so realistic. So it was like, just say it how you would tell somebody. If somebody came to you and felt like the world was just on their shoulders and they were blocking their own blessings, what would you say and how would you say it? So I really appreciate you for like bringing that side out of me for the world to be able to see. I really appreciate that so much.
Anytime. I appreciate saying that. Like I love.
Like you filmed my grace.
I did. I
Yeah.
did. Yeah. So I appreciate,
appreciate
that.
that.
As a a director and someone, a creative, like we do appreciate that
Right.
when we do that. Like we don't do it for that, but
Right.
it is nice to have like that little bit of like
Right.
gratitude, validation, and all that kind of stuff. I really do humbly appreciate that.
Thank you.
And for our audience, you've seen her. She was amazing. In the room is currently working through the short film festival, so it's not released to the public. But when it does, you are going to see a new star born. Hey, if you need an actress for a short film, hit her up. She's that girl, that woman, that everything,
girl.
that makap artist.
Girl.
Again, she wears many hats, many hats, and each of them are super dope.
Thank you, baby.
So, like, subscribe, comment, be like, hey, Juelissa girl, like, when can we do a short film together? And I guarantee you, she's gonna be ready to work. So, as always, when we say on Over the Shoulder, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. See you guys later.